the chance to say goodbye. I do not have the chance to say thank you. To Francis Edward Small, Banjul Municipal Councillor, to Garba Juhampa of Muslim Congress Party, to Reverend J.C. Fay of Democratic Party, to P.S. Najai of United Party, to Dawda Jawara of People's Progressive Party, for their sacrifices worth acknowledgement. I did not know them really well, but I knew they were gone before I was born. But if my love could bring them back, they would have been with us today. For I loved them so dearly. In my heart they hold a special place, a place no leader could ever fill. It broke my heart to lose them so dearly, so early, but I am proud that they did not go alone. Part of me went with them when they left without saying goodbye. Happy 50th Independence Anniversary to them all. I dedicate this day to my heroes. Thank you.
Round of applause.
Okay, go on.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President, the First Lady and the Ministers. As the Vice President and the Minister of Justice presiding over today's event, I would like to welcome you all to our 50th Independence Anniversary. Without wasting time, I would like to welcome some of the ministers to come and give their speeches in the form of a poem. May I call on the following ministers to come and read their poems. Ramu Saleh, Minister of Agriculture.
Okay, silence please.
Today is our independence. Beat the drum of fun. Beat the drum of freedom. Beat the drum of liberty. Drum of liberty. Beat the drum of independence. For today is our independence.
Thank you.
Mama Jaren Sidibe, Minister of Tourism.
For the Gambia, our homeland, the land of beauty, the land of treasure, the land of love, the land of peace. For the Gambia, our homeland.
Sambu Kamara, Minister of Finance.
The Gambia, our promised land. What happens to your 50 years of promises? When you were born, you promised liberty and freedom. You promised peace and prosperity. You promised respect and dignity. You promised freedom of speech and transparency. The Gambia, our promised land. What happened to your 50 years of promises?
Janet Benson, Minister of External Affairs.
The Gambia, my motherland. I had great hopes and expectations for what future holds for you. I'm glad to be your daughter. I love you so dearly. I can't bear to end that love. I've watched you learn to stand and fall. I've watched you grow and change. We have trials and tribulations. We also cherish fun memories. But remember, you occupy a special place in my heart. The Gambia, my motherland.
Zainab Sidibe, First Lady and Head of Women's Bureau.
The 18th of February 1965 was the day when we sang songs at liberation, when we came together under one flag, when we raised the flag to our self-rule, when we own our destiny, a day to remember, a day to cherish. 18th of February 1965 was the day.
Please, round of applause for the ministers. Now may I take this opportunity to call His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Gambia, Abdurrahman Saleh.
Silence please.
Good evening.
anniversary of our independence. This evening we shall reflect on the road to our very first independence, which was held on the 18th of February 1965. The road to our first independence was long and tedious, and we must acknowledge the contributions made by our unsung heroes. It is pleasing to know that these people sacrificed a lot to give the Gambia and the freedom they surely deserve. As the President of the Republic of the Gambia, I felt we owe a great deal to Edward Francis Small, born in Banjul in 1891, a former post office employee, a teacher, and a clergyman with the Methodist Church. He started our road to independence from colonial British rule after his involvement in the Balanghar incident. During his work with the Methodist Church in Balanghar village, he was advised during the church bell for the New Year's Eve gathering. James Walker, a British merchant living in the village, during his work with the Methodist Church in Balanghar village, he was advised to ring the church bell for the New Year's Eve gathering. James Walker, a British merchant living in the village, was offended by the noise and fought with Small. Then Small was redeployed to Sakuta, where he criticized the Reverend of the Methodist Church and got fired. The firing was a blessing in disguise, as it was the starting of Small's long career and the struggle for Gambia's independence. Edward Francis Small believed that it would be through organization and motivation that would lead the Gambia to national liberation. In 1920, he gave a speech about the right of West Africans to independent self-rule in the National Congress of British West Africa conference held in Accra. In the following 10 years, Small spent his time as an editor and publisher of a newspaper campaigning for liberation. After a long period of discussions, fights, and strikes, in 1928 came the country's first trade union, and in 1930 came the first district council and board of health. Francis Small believed that it became the first in the Gambia to win a popular vote by beating both Garba Jahumpa and Sheikh Umar Faye. He became a legislative councillor and went on to represent Banjul Municipal Council in the legislature from 1942 to 1947. 3 years later, the first political party, called Democratic Party, under the leadership of Reverend J.C. Faye, was formed, and a year later the Muslim Congress Party, led by Garba Jahumpa, and the United Party under P.S. Njai were launched. The Gambia People's Party, GPP, under the leadership of St. Clair Diouf, existed for only 1 year. In 1959 came the People's Progressive Party, PPP, with general grassroots-led programs led by Dawda Karabajiwara, a former vet officer from McCarthy Island Division. The result of 1960 elections brought about political and constitutional dilemma, as both UP and PP won exactly 8 seats each. The decision to appoint P.S. Njai of UP as Chief Minister, despite winning the same number of seats as Jawara, led to the resignation of Dawda Jawara as Minister of Education. His resignation led to the review of 1961 Constitution and enactment of 1962 Constitution that paved way for internal self-rule. In 1962 election, Jawara and his PPP won absolute majority, winning 18 out of 26 seats, and he became Gambia's first Prime Minister. When he went into coalition government with P.S. Njai from the UP, the Gambia's first independent government was born. On the 18th of February 1965, the Gambia was admitted to Commonwealth as an independent constitutional monarchy, with Queen Elizabeth II being the normal head of state. What this means is that Gambia had their independence on that day. However, it was not until the referendum was held on the 24th of April 1970 that the Gambia became a republic and Jawara became the president of the republic. Jawara and Britain's PPP remained in power until they were overthrown through a military coup on July 22, 1994. Please may you join me to celebrate this milestone and thank Edward Francis Small, Reverend J.C. Faye, Garba Jahumpa, P.S. Njai, St. Clair Juf, and Dauda Kariba Jawara for all their sacrifices. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your patience and wishing you all an enjoyable independence celebration. Hip hip.